dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet, because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak.
It's time for war. It's time for war. Get redemption. Redemption. It's time for war. It's time for war. Get redemption.
For the poor, righteous teachers with pharaoh features. Like one of the kings from Egypt, the plan is to lock us, stripping our freedom. Mass incarceration, jails is crowded all across the nation. With black faces with 25 for crack cases. These new modern laws attract racists. Hands high, still a cop shooters, claiming we rock movers. Block looters, the reason they put the Glocks to us. They fed us pork and false knowledge. I talk dollars, cause in this land of America, you hear the poor holler. A known scholar, do the math. What they teaching in class is transparent. I can see through the glass. It's on us to educate the babies, the black poets and athletes, before they end up dead on a back street. We ain't running no more, kid, it's time for war. Impeach the POTUS, his mind is apocalyptic. First they gave us dope, now it's pills, that's not prescripted. Modern day genocide, they see us in a ride, costing $100 grand, shoot us just like the son of Sam.
Exemplify, ship to Hispaniola, better known as Haiti, warriors of Judah. What does it mean when I say just a leave? Late night, the drums will scream. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. I can see the ships retreat. I can see the ships retreat. I can feel it. Kupetele. Off with them hands. Off with them hands. It's time for war. Get redemption. It's time for war. Get redemption.
So what you know about them Zulus or the Asante? Salute to OC22 or Haiti in the swamps or where them alligators knew you. French threaded the locks who fear them not because of voodoo. Nazinga would have strangled you, moving like you need a piece of Amazons or murder you. No mercy, ask the Portuguese. Been the war, biggest one inside of you. Man the beast, step of victory. No surrender, we do not retreat. Word to Sunny Ali, the great Haile Selassie. Respect Muhammad Ahmed, that's who we call the Mahdi. If Turner caught you slipping, his machete will be dripping with the blood of opposition. He ain't spared children and women. Resistance is the mission we pursuing with persistence. A coward gets beheaded on sight for lack of vision. This that men elect the second. It's Wayo, Bambada, that Harriet escape flow, that Nelson, that Shaka.
It's time for war. Get redemption. It's time for war.
Peace and blessings to the family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, place where knowledge is born. Your host, Knowledge One Alive. We here, December the 1st, and we got something going on for the month of December. The shift, cultural shift that is taking place. We are taking on the mantle and the challenge of providing something elevating in the midst of the chaos and confusion that is happening, and in the midst of the awakening of the things that are happening. So today is December the 1st, one day here, closer towards the shift in the calendar change. So this next 31 days are critical. And for those who are looking at goal attainment, provide you a little motivation. Okay? Provide you a little motivation. So yeah, these lives will be sporadic, but they will be daily for the month of December. I so want to, my producers put herself up for a challenge. Back to the Soul, dynamic producer. And I was like, let me just pick up this mantle, seeing that motivation out there. You know, we always on here on Do Knowledge Radio under one circumstance or another, and collaborating with a lot of different people. So it's a great opportunity to sort of focus on the subject matters at hand. These lives won't necessarily be long, but they'll be out here. They'll be available to go back. So literally there's an entire month worth of content for the family to partake in. So today is dedicated to one of my ancestral matriarchs, one of those divine community minds who taught many lessons for her life, what her life's work, and her goal. Her goal, her aim, and objective was liberation. So the research question for today is, how did Harriet Tubman's journey exemplify Black excellence and inspire liberation? Her birth had set the tone towards a catalyst of events that would follow, that would lead to subsequent events surrounding liberation. She was born Araminta Ross, and her name was changed to Harriet. And she met a man named John Tubman and took the surname Tubman. So she was born at a time of prisoner of war here in the Americas, and she risked her life, not in a way to save her life, but risked her life with the mind frame of carving out a path or a trail by the aid of God, by the aid of her ancestors, and by aid of the stars to freedom. What it meant for her, the amount of joy that was in her heart, the amount of gladness that was in her heart when she escaped the plantation and had reached Maryland, and had reached Delaware. And she wanted to extend that to a population of her people who had not known it, who thought plantation life was all that it was, all that it existed. So it was something that was seated in her mind and her heart to be, as it was termed by historians, as the Moses of her people. That space of liberation wasn't something she wanted to keep privately to herself. So she became an avenging and redeeming angel in regards to showing something to a people that had forgotten that this existed. Being a free people and then being in bond service. You could be in bond service so long that you no longer look towards a day when you're no longer in bond service. And we have some still in emotional bond service and spiritual bond service to causes or things or people that aren't the best for them. So, in this aspect, one of the takeaways we could begin to look at this research question, Black excellence from the life of Harriet Tubman or Harriet Tubman's sojourn through the physical world. Did her life's work inspire you in some way towards liberation? And liberation looks different amongst everyone. So we're going to discuss some of that today. So the question for the audience is, what does Harriet Tubman's story mean to you? Share your thoughts. So if you watch the archives, share your thoughts and use the hashtag Do the Knowledge, DOTHAKNOWLEDTE. What does Harriet Tubman's story mean to you? A point that I found pretty interesting in preparing for this is that Harriet Tubman was one who grew up in the house. I know we listened to some of the speeches from Al-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz, brother Omar Wali, affectionately known to the world as Minister Malcolm X. And in one of those speeches, he talked about the difference between the house Negro and the field Negro. He wasn't necessarily talking about the people, but he was talking about a mindset. And especially as we talk about liberation today, we have those that exhibit the characteristics and traits of the mind. There are natural states of being. You have an aspect of you that is dedicated to self-preservation. And you have an aspect of you that is dedicated to your rise. So you have something that anchors you, that grounds you. And then you also have something that propels you to ascend. And both of these, within good reason, are placed within your faculties to govern your being accordingly. So there was a propensity that existed that was found to be more prevalent in the description of one who was loyal to safety and security, even though I don't know how you could be safe on plantation under any circumstances. And then that there was a proclivity to look at those who would seek to resist or seek to escape and associate a mentality with them. The term drapetomania was given by the psychologists and the scientists for those from among our ancestry who would escape. They said there was a mental disorder that those who would seek to run away, those who would seek to escape, those who would seek to fight back, a mental disorder, the diagnoses that was associated with not subjecting yourself to certain circumstances. So Harriet was in the house. Nat Turner was also one who was in the house. So when we look to condemn one another in regards to the characterization, we often associate one with the other. It's just something to think about. What it took to leave a set of circumstances and what it took to stay in the set of circumstances, that is something that speaks to the resolve in the bottom of cargo ships. Our ancestors spoke to each other in a manner that was different in regards to survivability. Discussions about leaving, discussions about fighting, and then discussions about staying and what it meant to stay. Discussions about continuing to be alive so that life could continue and that they could come back through the womb again. These are courageous discussions that aren't widely spread to the general public. We look at those times and we formulate opinions without foreknowledge that these discussions were had, that orders were given. Certain people had to be alive. Everyone wanted to go. Everyone wanted to fight. So a decision was made. And Harriet Tubman's life was one that showed many different lives that were lived in one existence. You had plantation life, and then you had life on the run, and then you had the life of warfare in regards to the Civil War. Then you had life after the Civil War. These were all seemingly separate lives that were lived throughout the experience of one woman's journey here on the planet, and so many things that could be gleaned from that experience. So, a question: imagine being in Harriet's shoes. What inner strength would it take to leave everything behind for freedom? To leave everything behind for freedom. Everything that she loved, everything that she knew, everything that was familiar to her. She left that behind for something that was an unknown. She didn't even know this existed physically. There was no proof physically that she could look to. There was no example that she could look to. That didn't stop her. That inner voice, that inner commune that God sent. The directional path, the moss grows on the north side of the tree, the constellations, the ability to be subversive, to be clear where people were hunting her. There were prices on her head, wanted dead or alive. To reach freedom, when you look at goal attainment, when you look at these things that you are projected to do. You could see it from one end to the other, but along the way are proving grounds, are moments where you begin to look and think like this isn't possible. What do you do in those moments? What do you do in those moments when challenges arise? Are these confining moments or defining moments? So again, the question, imagine being in Harriet's shoes. What inner strength would it take for you to leave everything behind for freedom? So through her leaving the plantation and reaching north, as far as Canada, in some instances, she got with a group of people and they had formulated a pathway from the north to the south with way stations along the way. This space of sophisticated travel was called the Underground Railroad. Now, these were a group of people who had an ideology that opposed bond service in the South. However, what Harriet's life at that period of time provided proof of concept that you could traverse the terrain from the south to the north and what it took. So the idealists said, okay, you could be able to rest here or go here or be here for some food, blah, blah, blah. The level of sophistication, the code words, all of those things, and then markings that were left on houses that you had to be able to see in the nighttime or through limited visibility. And that at any time, any of those spaces along the way could be compromised. So now her position along this path is a conductor on the Underground Railroad. Now, imagine you risked your life to be free. Now you risk your life to go back into this environment to take people out of an environment who had no concept of what freedom was. No concept whatsoever of what freedom was. A role as the conductor was to lead people out of bond service. Similar to Moses' role, leading the people out of bond service and what that meant. That people were looking to turn back. People were looking to go back into servitude, looking to go back into bondage. And she realized that in that space, those people would be at a detriment to everything that was done based off of what sort of fear or whatever other emotions that was going through their mind in that regard. So along the way of goal attainment, it's going to look treacherous. It's going to look impossible at times. But what sort of resolve do you have within you to be able to continue to keep going where everything looks hopeless? When fear and doubt begin to set in, they begin to tug at your heart, begin to tug at your mind. What if you don't trust your conductor anymore? Her role, she said, that she never ran her train off the track, and she never lost a passenger. She never ran her train off track. She never subjected the people that were under her watchful, protective eye to be going away outside of the destination. She never got lost. Never ran the train off the track. And she never lost a passenger. Every man, woman, and child that she was responsible for made it from bond service to freedom. No matter what. Now think of a goal or goals or a set of goals that you are looking to achieve and what it might cost. And think of Queen Mother Harriet and what her goal cost. People everywhere were looking to catch her. That didn't stop her. They were looking to catch her. She was wanted, dead or alive. So when you want to quell a rebellion of this sort, the stakes are high. Are the set of the circumstances that ail you in regards to the goal that you're looking to achieve greater than the aftermath of goal attainment and those who will be able to glean from the gifts, the talents, the skills, the invention that you provide to the world? If you were to put them on the scale, which one has a more greater significance in your life? The self-preservation aspect is there. But what of the ascension? Queen Mother Harriet said she could not enjoy freedom while there were others still in bondservage. She could have just got away. She could have just got away and said, you know what, I'm good. That's their problem. I got away. So this ability to be able to be a conductor, to help people along the pathway from bond service to liberation, was something that she did so keen. That the Union Army approached her to work as a nurse as a scout, and as a spy. These are all positions that had not been invented by the Army as of yet. The Army Nurse Corps doesn't come until World War One. Might even be a little later, World War II. A scout in the combat arms environment, the job of a scout, similar to that of a forward observer, had a duty and responsibility to risk their life to know of the enemy's movements, to learn how they move, and to gather intelligence that would be useful to the riflemen. The rifle party moved out, and a squad size or platoon size element, a scout, might be out there by themselves or one or two people. If they're caught or they're captured by the other side, that's it. Harriet worked as a nurse. Harriet worked as a scout. And Harriet worked as a spy. So think of the resolve of what it meant to have to disguise yourself and be in environments around people who are looking to kill you, to get the intel necessary to feed back to the Union Army. These are three separate jobs. That she did with her work with the Union Army. Now think about what she had helped to put together in regards to the Underground Railroad. So her ability to be out as a nurse, the job of the nurse isn't the same job as a scout. And the scout isn't the same job as a spy. So this ability of wounded service members and the like, she's there in a comforting, healing modality. As a scout, gathering intel, she's there from a distance, but in a combat sort of mentality. Now, as a spy, deep covert operations, a whole nother level of engagement. You're further away as a scout. As a spy, you're in the trenches. And if you're found out and you're captured, nobody's coming for you. So her ability to be able to cloak herself and exist in all three of these modalities is something. Her goal was liberation for as many as it was humanly possible. And when they went on plantations, she was there. She was leading raids on plantations. I just want us to be cognizant of the level of involvement associated with goal attainment for her. How far are we willing to go to achieve our goals? So, question: what does it say about Harriet's legacy that she risked her life not only for herself, but for others? How can we embody that spirit today? So after the war, her job didn't stop. Now, this post-war that the historians term activism, think of that time of a Sojourner Truth and so many others during the suffrage movement. Harriet Tubman being an active component in so many different aspects, from an escapee refugee, right? A marked woman, marked for death, to one who would serve in combat roles, one who would serve in the healing modality, to now the space of recognition of a woman's place, quote unquote, in society, and advocacy for the care of the elderly. So, a space of fighting for justice, fighting for equity, fighting for equality. Think of your own messages. Think of your own stories. Think of the stories of the women in your family. Think of your own story and see how much of this resolve that this divine woman, our righteous ancestor, Queen Mother Harriet, runs parallel to your life. So a question is, what's one way you can honor Harriet Tubman's legacy in your life today? Let us know with the hashtag Black Excellence. So you watch this archive, let us know. The point of history is to serve as a reminder of our duties in the present and our responsibility to the future. So today we dealt with the research question: how did Harriet Tubman's journey exemplify Black excellence and inspire liberation? Willfully, this was a opportunity for reflection, for introspection, for discussion, and so many other things. That's her story. What can you glean from that story? And how can this help you and your legacy, going forward? So I want to thank everybody who came through. And as I said, this archive will be here and will be here for the month. Different topics, different spaces of discussion. As a matter of fact, I'll give you all the first couple of days that we got going on here. 1 second, get to the schedule. All right. 1 second here. Tomorrow we'll have Motivation Monday. And let me get the topic up here real quick. All right. That'll be day 2. So hopefully y'all will tune in and check it out. One second. So what I'll do is I'll tell y'all what's going on for the first week here. All right. All right, so the focus for week 1 is Foundations of Greatness. So today we discuss the life of Harriet Tubman and her journey in the exemplification of Black excellence and inspiring liberation. All right, so tomorrow, Monday, December 2nd, what drives us forward? How can we cultivate motivation in challenging times? So we'll deal with that. We'll deal with the aspect of the realm of motivation during these times of challenge. All right, so that's day 2. Day 3, Transformation Tuesday, December the 3rd. How can adversity lead to personal transformation and empowerment? So we'll be dealing with that question right there. Day 4, Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesdays, we have a discussion about what can ancestral wisdom teach us about navigating today's challenges. So we're dealing with the realm of ancestral wisdom. Day 5, Throwback Thursday. Okay, so we'll deal with the question of the Harlem Renaissance. So how did the Harlem Renaissance shape Black identity and expression? So be there for that. Day 6, Financial Freedom Fridays. Topic: what steps can we take to build financial empowerment in our community? So I'll get somebody to come and speak to us from that regard. Number 7, day 7, Saturday, December 7th, Storytelling Saturdays. How the storytelling preserve our heritage and inspire culture. So, for many of you know that on fan base, we've been dealing with the Art of Storytelling Network / podcast. So, be good to be in this environment and deal with these things. I know the book series, the ebook series, Voices of the Diaspora, and many of you are aware of the docu-series that's being filmed, Voices of the Diaspora. So the goal is to tell 1 million Black stories righteously, and we're doing it. So that's the first week. So different topics, different vantage points, one existence. So, like what you heard, subscribe to the show here, www.youtube.com/Do the Knowledge Radio. If you wanted to get the ebook series, you can go to www.dothenowledgeradio.com and get your copy of the ebook series. And I've seen some of the commercials, some of the people who have been checking it out and leaving their commentary. So I'll play one of those right now really quick before we get out of here.
You cannot go without this book, and let me explain why. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, takes you through countless and countless different Blacks. From our scholars, our warriors, our great sisters, and even entrepreneurs. It speaks to the past, the present, and the future. There's even an action plan for us that are serious about businesses that we wanted to take on. Entrepreneurship is one of the first things that he speaks about. And if you're an avid reader, this is a 5-part series. So this is not only a great resource for ourselves, it's a great resource for us as parents. We can teach it and incorporate it into our lesson plans for our children.
Shout out to my brother Score Yee. That's him on that production right there. Amazing, brother who agreed to do what he did. So again, www.doknowledgeradio.com. Get the ebook series. Short, concise, pictorially rich, and written by yours truly. Great opportunity to use for additional discussions in regards to our experience. All right, so catch us here tomorrow. Love, honor, respect to you all. Tell your story, share your story. The world is in need of your story, your gifts, your talents, your skills. Your life is valuable. Your life is valuable. You're here on purpose for a purpose. Live that purpose out. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to elevate. Peace, y'all.
Corrupted science itself. Because at one time it was just the science of living and surviving here on this planet. Science of life.
You think cause you were started, you read it in my creation. I'm God Zodiac, I'm made from constellations. My brain is a bomb waiting to flame an abomination. No change in the bomber's nation, just some old dollars placed in the pockets of Satan. While I walk amongst the blind, explain chakras to the cavemen. I'm locking from the graves, sending doctors to the shamans. Scientists ashamed, they getting knowledge from the pagans. I'm in Nirvana with militant, philosophical, diligent builders aiming for spots in a large nation. I mean, all in all, the freedom of God hopped and rise to the occasion. Surprised that we invading your time, finished, diminished. I'm live from the awakening. Cameras on tilt as I flex my success and fly. Look what I built, smooth just like silk in the groove. You might wilt if your lotus ain't focused and sewn just like a quilt from the needle to the record to the laser. My behavior resembles the high sev. You see my 2 fingers up, yelling peace to the gods, waving bye to the haters, standing on the black dot in the center of my square. In the middle of the circle, I designed the creator. Khalifa, when I speak through the speaker. Thoughts of a magician is lost in mysticism that reached the non-believer. I shine in your theater.
The clock was already moving before you saw the wheels turn.
IAK, send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Signs of the times, the future I foresee. KAZOD, IAK, send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Wheel of the spirit, the stars indeed. Who's better than this? Intelligentness. Clouds like I pass heaven to split. Killer cop, shame your treacherousness. You serve the devil, you're protecting the myth. Professional hitman, I spit excellence. I connect you to bliss. Grab this pebble from my hand and I let you exist. But if you don't, well, I spit a ghost spell. Get off my coattails. My coach is our God. I live it so well. The life of a G as high as can be. A soul model, what your role model aspires to be. True boss life. In order to lead, you need foresight. We can't reach the PRT. We ain't poor, right? Error of the rich righteous. That fix the crisis of the terror of the mid-lifeless. The myth virus infecting the whole planet. Infected the globe with medic depressing. My soul answers the questions. I'm like Osiris flying in the gold-plated sky disc with no pilot. Kingdom of heaven, you can walk through my gate but speak certainty. Silence is a virtuous trait. I was more amazing, I ain't have to learn to be great. When every child's born, they ain't have to learn to create. Cause when it feels rejected, that's when love turns into hate. God leap through a hole within space. Welcome to my dimension. When you think of the God, well, I'm the guy you mentioned. ZOD, IAK, send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Signs of the times, the future I foresee. KAZOD, IAK, send it to MC for the record. Each song is the part that makes me. Wheel of the spirit, the star, the spirit, the star, the spirit, the star.
You're not ready for that.
Wheel of the spirit, the star, the spirit, the star, the spirit,
the dynamic of law is in that wheel. And discover that shit. You just ain't ready to take on that dimension.
We just really regurgitate
what the creators already know.
No matter how we try to spin it, it's the same wheel.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them that in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? So no more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get back to the
motive is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.